Well, that escalated quickly. Just 4 days ago, we talked about Evolving Skies booster boxes potentially hitting $2,500 soon. And that happened quicker than expected. Evolving Skies are $2,500 on TCG Player and pushing with no signs of slowing down. It's absolute craziness when it comes to Evolving Skies. There is no limit. And it looks like, the next psychological barrier is really going to be the $3,000 mark. But I also think at 2,750, we might see a little bit of resistance. But really, it's up and away till about 3K, it looks like. And we can see we do have confirmed sales at 2,500. And these are the lowest listeds that we're looking at right now on TCG Player. All 2,500 and above. I mean, technically this one's a few dollars under if you want to get technical, but 2,500 and above. And it's not that many sales until we're in 2,800 territory, which is creeping up real close on 3K. And that seller that we talked about last time that had a ton of boxes that were listed at 2,500, looks like they upped their price to 3,500, which is pretty smart. If I was sitting on 56 boxes, there's no way I would have been unloading them at 2,500. They're leaving too much money on the table. So they upped their price to 3,500. I mean, and then just look where it goes from there. So Evolving Skies continuing to chug up. Now, this kind of felt a lot like that Fusion Strike moment, like I mentioned before, where I didn't expect it to happen quite that quickly, but I had mentioned that it kind of looked like Fusion Strike was ready to pop off. And now we're seeing that same thing happen with Evolving Skies, which, once again, to reiterate, it's not surprising that it's happening. It's just surprising that it's happening so quickly. And it just seems like sometimes stuff can just stagnate for a while and then all of a sudden, boom, it happens like instantaneously. I know it happened over days, but it really feels like it happened overnight. So Evolving Skies, as far as booster boxes go, just looking to be insane. I mean, obviously we've seen Team Up leading the way, and you have other boxes, that have continued to age really well, and just we've seen astronomical numbers from older eras as well. And Evolving Skies is just going to continue to chug in that direction. But before we go any further, we are less than 1,000 subscribers from 20K now. We just hit 19,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to enter, we're still doing the giveaway. If you guys want to enter the giveaway, the link will be at the end of the video. If you guys want to click on that, you got to watch the video and comment. And we are giving away a Surging Sparks booster box, a Prismatic ETB, a Japanese 151 booster box, a PSA 10, and I think there was some other stuff. I can't even remember. It's been a while since we announced it. So there's going to be a ton of winners. So if you want to enter, you must be subscribed to the channel. So hit that subscribe button with notifications on, as I do post daily Pokemon collecting and investing content, so you guys can stay up to date. And like I said, make sure you comment on that video, because once we hit 20K, that's when we're going to draw the winners. So hopefully that happens sooner rather than later, but that's currently what we're looking at, and just wanted to remind you guys as we are now close to that goal. And then when it comes to singles, I know we talked about it before, but we're going to mention it again with Evolving Skies just continuing to move up. We are seeing the Rayquaza move up in price, more in a PSA 10 at all-time highs, continuing to push up to the $1,300 mark in a PSA 10, but raw copies looking good as well. You can see some raw near mint copies as high as $750, which would be about the highest we've ever really seen this card go for in a raw near mint. So that's looking really crazy as well. Not super surprising. Once again, this card could definitely carry its own set, and very, very popular Pokemon, obviously very awesome. And as the boxes continue to go up, I just think the big alt arts from this set are just going to continue to push. But yeah, PSA 10s pushing, near mints pushing. And then it had me taking a look at one that doesn't get talked about quite as much, is the Rayquaza, just the V from Evolving Skies. I just wanted to take a gander. It is a nice looking card. If you can't afford the V Max, the V is a much more affordable option, but we are seeing PSA 10 prices of this card start to push as well. Currently, like raw copies, not as much, kind of just at that like $200 mark, maybe a little bit under. but it's really PSA 10s that are moving up in value. You can see actually last sold around 570 right here on eBay. So those have been shooting up to all-time highs if you exclude like the initial release time. Actually, this would be matching the all-time high of when this first PSA 10 copy sold right here back in September of 2021. So massive, massive gains there. It took a long time. You can see how this, as far as PSA 10s went for this card, fell for a long time with, they're around 150 bucks. Looks like back in late 2023 would have been a great time to pick up PSA 10 copies in hindsight. Now we're seeing almost $600. Actually, there's a $594 sale and a $599 sale. So looks like this card's going to $600 in a PSA 10. And then one of my favorite cards of the set, possibly my favorite actually, now that I start to really think about it, is the Sleepy Dragonite V. Getting some hate from his new Mega form, but that is a-okay because we still like original OG Dragonite here. Absolutely a great card. And similar situation to the Rayquaza V. PSA 10s continuing to chug up. Most recent sales as high as $800 in a PSA 10 for this card. You can see this was yesterday right here on eBay, 727 at $802 sold listing. So raw near mints kind of holding around 250. Let's check some of those recent sales. Yeah, it seems about accurate. 240 to 260, somewhere in that price range. And PSA 10s continuing, like I said, continuing just to see new all-time unseen highs. So it's not just the booster boxes, it's the cards as well. Such a highly sought after set. And we do have to talk about the big dog, obviously the Umbreon VMAX, the Moonbreon, if you will. We have to talk about it whenever we talk about Evolving Skies, just because it's the big dog chase card. And similarly, we're not really seeing a big movement when it comes to raw near mint copies, kind of around $1,200, $1,300 for those last solds. It's mainly the PSA 10s that have bumped up more recently. And they're still not at that all-time high yet. They still have a ways to go. They hit around 3,000 back in January, dipped to around 2,200 in April, and now we're seeing them rise back up. Last solds right here, 2,700. I'm not sure what this one is with the 3,500, so we're going to ignore that one kind of as an anomaly, especially because it says it has a chipped case. So that seems like an odd listing. But 2,600 currently what we're seeing from this card in a PSA 10. And then off of that, the Umbreon V, which is a very stunning nice card. Wish I still had my copy. This is one of my big regrets that I do not have this card currently in my collection. Maybe we'll get it back in the collection at some point. But I definitely regret selling this card when I did, because PSA 10s right now, looks like 600 plus. You can see these are the last solds right here. We got 600, 580, 650, 650, 620. And right here it shows 580 as current market for a PSA 10, but it looks like those prices are continuing to go up. And raw, kind of holding around 200, low 200s to maybe mid 200s at most, but PSA 10s chugging up, and those $600 price point, if that continues to hold, yeah, that's gonna just continue to be another all-time high for another Evolving Skies alternate art. So not surprising to see for any of it in general. It's just how quickly it happens sometimes. Even though you know it's gonna happen, it just really sneaks up on you, I feel like, with everything going on. You kind of forget about Evolving Skies for a while, and then everything just happens all at once. But if you have no fear, because if you're wanting to still get into Evolving Skies, I still think that one, I don't think you can go wrong with any product in Evolving Skies. I'm still as bullish, obviously, as ever. I think 3K for a booster box, that's going to be like the next psychological point. I think just give it enough time. I don't know how much time it's going to be. Could be quicker than expected. But at some point, we're going to be saying, wow, 3K for an Evolving Skies box was cheap. That's just a fact. We're going to be saying that. But things that are cheap relatively now, although it is kind of wild to think of saying that about a sleeved pack of Evolving Skies, is these are $40 right now. And if you do the math, these are technically undervalued. Obviously, booster boxes always hold a premium, but just keep in mind that these are going to continue to move up in value. A year ago, these were $20, and now we're seeing them at over 40. Listed median price currently on TCG Player is 50. So these are going to continue to rise. The booster box will move up, and then everything else will kind of follow. So if you still want to get into Evolving Skies and you don't have $2,500 to spend on a booster box or $400 or $500 to spend on an ETB, sleeve packs are available, relatively affordable. And if you want to pick them up, start growing your Evolving Skies position, whether it's 1 pack a month, or you can do the art set. A lot of the times you can find them on eBay or TCG Player. They'll sell the art set of all 4, so you get all the different arts on the sleeved boosters. It's going to run you around $160, maybe $150 if you find one a little bit on a deal, $170 if you overpay by a little bit. But yeah, that's not a bad way to add some packs, just so you have some Evolving Skies exposure before this thing just continues to blast off. I mean, you just look at Team Up. What Team Up sleeve packs are doing now, it's just the same thing, right? Team Up's just obviously way ahead with we're seeing $10,000 booster boxes and really expensive sleeve packs. But that's just the footprint for what Evolving Skies can and probably will do. At least currently, I don't think we're anywhere near the ceiling when it comes to Evolving Skies. Nowhere near the ceiling. And it's just happening so quickly. So, yeah, if you don't want to miss out on Evolving Skies, the sleeve packs are a great way to get in. But I just had to make this video. It's going to be a little bit shorter than normal. It's kind of just a little quick, hey, we have to retouch on Evolving Skies, because just 4 days ago we talked about that huge uptick. And I know percentage wise, it's really not that crazy to go from 2,200 to 2,500 percentage wise on that box, but that's a big jump to happen that quickly. And it does look like we could be coming back in another 4 days, and we could be talking about 2,750, 2,800 potentially. So we'll see how many boxes sell and what's going to happen. Obviously, sales will slow down at these increased prices. But as far as TCG Player goes, that's what we're seeing. And we are also, just so you know, we didn't pull it up in this video, but we are seeing very similarly the same thing happening on eBay, with maybe just slightly decreased prices, maybe closer to around 2,400. And there's always going to be a few that pop up here and there, TCG Player or eBay, that somebody comes in and undercuts with a slightly lower price, or, maybe they have a slight tear in their ETB in the seal, or whatever the case may be. So there will be, and you see that more on eBay, I think. So you probably see a few sales that are a little bit lower on eBay, and maybe it lags behind just a little bit, but it's pretty close, actually. It's pretty neck and neck. So Evolving Skies, just had to do this update video. So that's all I have for you guys in this one. Like I said, enter the giveaway, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. It should be popping up somewhere around here if you guys want to enter the giveaway. I would hugely appreciate it, as I do post every single day for you guys, so you can stay up to date. All you have to do if you want to stay up with the Pokemon market is just watch my videos every day, and we're pretty up to date on, as far as the market, everything it's going, PSA 10 prices, booster box prices, ETBs, the newest sets, the newest leaks, everything that's coming out. We cover it all on the channel. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And remember, it was never a phase.